Hello and welcome to today's European Open briefing. It is Friday, August the 9th. I'm Andras Georgiou, investment analyst at XM.com, and together we'll be taking a look at the main developments in the currency markets. So the dollar jumped today. It is extending on yesterday's gains. The currency is being bolstered by weakness in other currencies. However, its gains are not coming against the yen, which is resisting its advance. However, the euro and sterling are underperforming. The former fell sharply, with its losses being fueled by a Financial Times report. We'll get to that later. While sterling is extending its losses as it continues to be haunted by the prospect of a no-deal Brexit. On the emerging markets front, the Turkish lira hit a new record low against the US currency, while the ruble is also coming under significant pressure. Over here on the performance table, we can see on top the dollar index, while on the bottom the euro's losses are evident. Over here we can see the dollar index and dollar yen on the 4-hour charts. The index is in purple. Earlier in the day, it touched its highest since July 2017 of 96.172. However, as I said before, the yen is holding nicely. We can see that over the last 10 days, dollar yen has been heading lower. The Japanese currency is being supported by growing speculation for a more hawkish Bank of Japan, and the summary of opinions released earlier in the week pertaining to the late July meeting lend credence to this view, while Sino-US trade tensions are also boosting the currency. They're diverting safe haven flows to it. Moreover, earlier in the day, we had quarterly GDP data out of Japan, and those came in above expectations. Before moving on, I should also say that trade talks between the US and Japan will be continuing today. Turning to the euro, it hit 1.1430 today at its lowest. This is a nadir last experienced in July last year. A Financial Times report citing ECB worries about the exposure of some European banks in Turkey fueled the single currency's declines. While before that, we also had an ECB bulletin saying that risks to global growth are increasing as rising protectionism and the threat of US tariffs are weighing on confidence. This also acted as a drag on the currency. In the meantime, Italy remains a concern. There are worries of an imminent clash between the Italian government and the European Commission over the former's spending plans. And such an outcome will cast a fresh cloud of uncertainty over the euro area. Continuing with sterling, it posted a fresh low against the dollar. Over here, I'm presenting the weekly chart for perspective. We can see that the British pound is set for its 5th straight weekly decline against the greenback. As I said before, it hit a fresh low, specifically touched 1.2755. This is the lowest for pound dollar. This is the lowest that the pair has touched since late June 2017. Growing concerns over a no-deal Brexit have been hurting the currency over the last couple of weeks. And we have important UK data coming up. We'll talk about them when we turn to today's calendar. And in EM land, the Turkish lira recorded yet another record low versus the US currency, specifically dollar lira hit 6.2860. It has since eased a bit, though it remains sharply higher on the day, specifically by more than 6%. Thursday's meeting between a Turkish delegation and US officials in Washington didn't seem to ease the diplomatic dispute between the two over the detention in Turkey of an American pastor. And it is also notable that President Erdogan will be talking later in the day, and he may attempt to calm the nerves of investors. Also, EM related, the ruble is facing pressure with US sanctions elevating dollar ruble to a 2-year high of 67.1518. Lastly, turning to today's calendar, over here we can see the GDP data. We can see the Japanese data released during the Asian session. GDP growth came in at 1.9% on an annualized basis. It is higher than the 1.4% expected, though I should also say that the first quarter's contraction was revised to 1.9. Sorry, it was revised to 0.9 from 0.6% previously. As I said before, we're going to have important data out of the UK, specifically on Q2 GDP growth, while manufacturing and industrial output figures will also be made public, as well as data on June's trade balance. Later, during the US session, US CPI figures will come under the spotlight, as well as Canadian employment data. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.